Hi, in this video I'm going to show you guys a few examples of finding population variance and population standard deviation using your TI84. Okay, but before we start, I hope you guys have watched the videos listed here in this specific order. Okay, so I hope you guys have watched all the videos listed here. And one thing that I would like to point out is in this video, where it's a concept. Now that video covers the concepts and the equations of standard deviation and variance. However, please just disregard. Don't worry about the part where the teacher talked about sample variance. Okay, we're only interested in the population variance for this math class. All right, and make sure you have your TI84 with you, because that's what this video is for. I hope you guys, we really have to know how to use our TI84 to find population variance and population standard deviation. All right, so let's get started. All right, so here I have my TI84 on the right. And the question that we're looking at right now, this is actually one of the examples from the textbook. This is example number 11. So the question wants us to find the mean and the standard deviation. And I'm also going to show you guys how to find the variance. Okay. So we're trying to find the mean, the standard deviation, and the variance. So in the textbook, they do it a little bit differently, and we will be talking about how they solve this question as well. But for now, I will show you guys how to solve this using a TI84, of course, but with simply the data by itself. Okay, so I want you guys to go to your stat and go to your number one, go to your edit, and I want you guys under your L1 just punch in all the numbers, all the data that you see here. I have already done that, so please pause the video and enter the numbers in your calculator under your L1. Okay, pause the video now, please. All right, welcome back. Now, I hope you have already entered all the data in your calculator, and after you have done that, well, we're almost done. Go to your stat again. Go to your stat, right? And now we're gonna go to calc. And this chapter we're only talking about one variable, right? Go number one variable stats. So my data is under L1, right? That's my list. So L1 is good. I don't have any frequency list here. I'm not counting anything. I'm just what we did just now was we just put all the numbers in there, right? So we don't really have any frequency list. And then just go to calculate, hit enter, and there you go. So my mean is the first one, the first entry here. This is my mean. Right, so my mean is equal to 5, and we're talking about population standard deviation. So you see the sigma over here, right? The sigma over here, that is what we're looking at. That's my population standard deviation. In this case, it is 2.25 approximately. Right, approximately 2.25. Now, if I were to find the variance, all right. So if I were to find my variance, which is just the squared of my standard deviation, right? So in this case, my standard deviation is 2.25. If the question wants us to find the variance, what I do is I just I can just square of that, 2.25 squared. So my variance in this case will be 5.06. Okay, that's it. Now I'm going to show you guys how the textbook solved this question. Okay, so I'm going to pause the screen, and when I return, the screen will look a little bit differently. All right. Okay, so here I have cropped this table that they created. So what they did here is they just created a frequency table, and they counted how many farmers hired 0 workers. There's 1, and that will be this one right there, right? And then for 1 workers, 1 farmer, so that will be this one right here. For 2 workers, it would have 2 of them, 1 over here and another 1 over there. So this is just on the second column is just the frequency of the respective workers that they hired, right? So I'm going to show you guys how to find the standard deviation and the variance on your TI84. So again, go back to your stat, and then we're going to edit our list now. So for now, the list is going to look differently. So we need to clear what we have for L1, right? So let's just click on clear, so everything goes away. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to enter the list. Under L1, I will have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until 9. And for L2, that will be my respective frequency. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video, and you should also pause the video too. All right, so L1, you have your workers, your L2 will be frequency. All right, pause the video now, please. Okay, I hope you have entered workers under your L1 and the frequency for your L2. All right, and make sure you double check your values. And now let's see how we would use TI84 to find what we have now. Okay, so let's go to stat again and go to calc, and then we're going to go to 1 variable stats. So my list, that is my workers, so that's my L1, that's correct. And then for my frequency list, that will be my L2. So go to second stat, that will bring you to list, and then make sure you click on L2. All right, so frequency list is my L2, and then go to calculate, and then there you go, that's it. And we have the same value. My mean is still 5, and the population standard deviation is also 2.25. Okay, so that's it. I've just showed you guys 2 different ways. One is to use the raw data, right? That's the first time I did it, and then with the frequency table, we are using the list function to help us out, right? And that's it. Let me show you guys another example. This will be the last example in this video. Okay, so now they want us to find the population mean, variance, and standard deviation for the data below. In this case, we sort of have a category, right? We have 0 to 2, 3 to 5, 6 to 8. So this is no longer discrete, right? So we are going to approach this very similarly to what we did when we were trying to find the mean. Okay, so we are going to create a midpoint. Okay, we're going to make midpoint. So we're going to create another column called midpoint. All right, so the midpoint for 0 to 2, that'll be 1. The midpoint for 3 to 5, that'll be 4. The midpoint for 6 to 8, that'll be 7. Midpoint of 9 to 11, that'll be 10. Midpoint for 12 to 14, that'll be 13. And midpoint for 15 to 17, that'll be 16. And this is what I'm going to use as for my in my calculator, right? So I'm going to go to my edit. Now I need to change my list again. So go back to L1, clear everything. Go to my L2, clear everything as well. So I'm going to use L1. My midpoint will now become my L1. So I have 1. So I think you guys should pause the video and enter these values as well. Okay, so your L1 will be the midpoint. Your L2 will be the frequency. Okay, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, I hope you guys have entered the values in your TI84. Your L1 with the midpoints, your L2 will be the frequencies. And make sure you double check your data. Alright, and now we're going to find the mean, variance, standard deviation. So same thing, go to your stat and go to your calc. Number 1 variable stats. My list, which means my midpoint, that is correct. My frequency is L2. That's also correct. And then let's just go to calculate. So my mean in this case would be 9.92, right? My mean is my first entry here, 9.92, 3 significant figures, 9.92. My standard deviation, my population standard deviation would be 4.77, right? 4.77 is my population standard deviation. Now, so find variance. Variance is just the standard deviation squared, right? So I'll say 4.77 squared. So my variance is 22.75. Okay? Alright, feel free to rewind this video if you have to, if you need to, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.